Listen, it's time for you to stop being so hard on yourself. I have a young lady on here that I talk to frequently, and I realize that she's not the only one who beats herself up. I know we want to do a lot of things in our lives. I know we want to understand a lot of things in our lives. But we won't always get what we're trying to do. And it does not mean that you're a failure. It does not mean that you can't learn. It does not mean that your brain doesn't work. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Whatever you try that's new to you and is unfamiliar territory and you're experiencing for the first time, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be some learning curves. But you got to give yourself permission to mess it up. And yes, people in the background may be pushing you to be your best selves, but they're not pushing you to make you feel bad. They're not pushing you to make you feel overwhelmed. They're pushing you because they want you to succeed further than what they did. They see better for you versus what they had for themselves. And they don't want you to make the same mistakes that they did, so they push you to that level. And yes, it can be overwhelming. And yes, it can cause you to feel a certain type of way. But I'm telling you, put it in its proper perspective bucket and then move on. Pray about it. Ask God to help you. If it's class, go get some tutors. If you're trying to start a business, do your research. Look at some YouTube channels. Ask some questions. Closed mouths do not get fed. Do not beat yourself up. When it's like starting a new job. When you start a new job, and even though you get out of school with the skill sets, or even you done had other job that provided you the experience for the new job that you're going into, you don't know the company. You don't know how they're doing things. You don't know how they handle things. You don't know their structure. The only way you get to understand it once you get inside and you sit in that seat and then you start to learn. Give yourself credit for the willingness to learn. Give yourself the credit for the mindset to learn. Stop being so hard on yourself. The problem comes when we stop learning. The problem comes when our minds stop receiving the data that it gets. That's where the problem come at. But you're not less than. You're not a dummy. You're not crazy. You're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You're just struggling. It's just a challenge. And anything that come too easy for you, you may not want to be bothered with it. Because it's in those struggles, it's in those stresses, and it's in those strains that you learn who you are, what your capabilities are, your skill set, and how you handle stress. So stop beating yourself up. It's okay. It's just a little struggle this time. Just a teeny bit. You got this. You got this. But for me to tell you, it's easy. But you got to know it for yourself. And you got to believe it. Hear me? Are you listening? You got this. So I'm going to tell you, stop beating yourself up. You got this. You're not a dummy. You're smart. And you have to know that. It's okay. It's a little rocky road. But I prefer a little rocky road. That way you learn some things. Take the message and the madness and keep it moving. It's all right.